Thank you, President Emmert, Board Chair Herb Simon, who couldn't join us, members of the Board of Regents, President Emeritus Lee Huntsman, Senator Paul Shin, faculty and guests, good afternoon. I am honored to welcome the Secretary General to the great state of Washington. Sir, we are very pleased to have you here with us. As President Emmert has remarked, Washington State is internationally engaged. We are proud that people across the globe make their home here in our state. And we trade with the world, exporting goods from sophisticated software to Rainier cherries. Strong relationships with international partners are a part of Washington's prosperity. In fact, you may not recall, Secretary General, but we very nearly met in 2006 when you served as Korean Minister of Foreign Affairs and Trade. I was on a Washington State trade mission to Seoul. We were scheduled to meet that very day, but just before our scheduled appointment, they announced that you would be the new Secretary General of the United Nations and whisked you away to New York. It was, you can tell, a disappointment to me, but a good day for the United Nations and for our world. Now, Secretary General, I have the honor to personally congratulate you and welcome you to our fine state. We in Washington share many of your goals: a peaceful world, a world where the rights of all people are honored. I would personally like to especially thank you for the work that you have done to rally nations around the world on our challenge in global climate. As you've said, the Earth is only a speck in space, but it is the only home we have. And sadly, our home is threatened. We believe, just as you believe, that although humans are a cause of climate change, they are also perfectly capable of addressing it. We wish you well as you travel to Copenhagen in December and seek a global agreement on climate change. I will be there myself to explain the efforts of state governors and mayors and provincial governors all across the globe to tackle this critical challenge. In short, Secretary General, we share a vision of a peaceful, just, and healthy world. Thank you for joining us, and again, welcome to our evergreen state.
Dr. Mark Emmert, President of the University of Washington, Honorable Mr. Gates Sr., Honorable Governor of the State of Washington, Christine Gregoire, distinguished faculty members, staff, and dear students, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. A great Seattle philosopher once said, "Knowledge speaks, but wisdom listens." The philosopher was none other than Jimi Hendrix. I may be the first sitting UN Secretary General to give a public address in Seattle, but I'm certainly the first to quote Hendrix. You know, I just had the greeting session by the student board. 50 of your fellow students just quizzed me on the state of the world. I felt like a PhD student defending my thesis. You may call this an honorary doctorate degree, but I think I just earned it. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not sure whether this is appropriate in this very solemn ceremony to say a few words of my personal reflection. People say that good things come to those who wait, and I know that is true. And I'll tell you why. Almost 40 years ago, when President Nixon of the United States had established a diplomatic relationship with the People's Republic of China, there was a high expectation in the United States about how to improve their relationship with People's Republic of China. And they might have wanted to have some perspectives of Asian person. I was a young, very junior young foreign ministry officials at that time, and I learned that one of the most prestigious universities in the United States was sponsoring a full ride scholarship for a student from my part of the world for China study. It was the University of Washington, and I left at a chance. So I studied and worked hard, and I took extra exams, and I put everything into it. And one day a letter arrived. I was selected for an interview. I was so excited. And I was invited to come to a certain place called a Royal Hotel in Seoul. I was sure that I would get that. When I went to Royal's Hotel, I was surprised to find just a dozen of Korean citizens, professors, government officials, who were waiting for an interview by a professor who was dispatched from University of Washington. At that time, I realized that it was not only from Korea. They were selecting one person, one future scholar in whole Asia, maybe in my part of the Asia. What could I do? I went through the exam, the interview, and fortunately I came outstanding. I was selected as the candidate from Korea. One day another letter came from the University of Washington. They told me that it was a good news, but I was only the first runner-up. They said that if the first choice of the university would not accept, then I would be selected. They told me to wait. And I waited and waited and waited. 40 years. And here I am, and I thank you very much for this honor. I'm proud to call myself I'm proud to call myself husky. In fact, my voice has become husky. Thank you very much for welcoming me into your very distinguished, prestigious family. I accept this honorary doctorate, not for myself, but for the organization I serve, the United Nations. By honoring me, you are recognizing the central role of the United Nations in shaping our